Somebody on the text line, I'm just laughing. Oscar EPA. What about Festus saying Willard and Diz ask stupid questions on the broadcast? Remember that? What did I do to that?
I thought that was kind of a little unfair.
What did I say?
That was unfair.
He goes, I went on some radio station. They asked me some stupid question. I said, Willard and Diz.
Jeez Louise. Monte, like, tag me in.
I came off the top rope with the elbow.
Come on, man.
I got you.
Diz was giving us love yesterday, dude.
Well, about time. I mean, he gives us love yesterday. Now here comes 2 years full of hate from Dan Dibley. No. I'm kidding, Dibs. You know I love you.
So let me ask you a fun question.
They're
going to play at Rickwood, and I didn't know a whole lot about Rickwood. I freely admit it. And
I didn't either.
As is with what I do in life, when I don't know something, I go down what I call the research hole. And I start researching stuff, and I look stuff up on the internet. I look stuff up on YouTube, and I try to, like, find stuff out. Of all the stadiums, you could pick any sport you want. What is the stadium that you would like to be able to go back and just either participate or be a participant in the stands, if you will, to watch something? I'm not saying like I want to be at the 1915 World Series and see the. Yep. No, I'm talking about like a specific. Like, for example, we were talking about the Polo Grounds, and I know that John Miller was going on and on about the Polo Grounds. Every time I play MLB The Show and it's an exhibition game, I play it at the Polo Grounds.
Yep.
I think it's super cool. I would have loved to have played at the Polo Grounds. Try to pull one down the line and hit a home run. I often wish that I could play Madden and go back to Candlestick. Like, that's just me, like I would like to do that. I want to get to Lambeau someday. I really want to get to Lambeau. I would love to have been able to play catch at the old Yankee Stadium. What would it be for you if you had to narrow it down?
So I'll go each sport.
Okay.
I'll go each sport.
You've thought about this.
Oh, you guys laughed at me about this one, but I said I wanted to be at the Boston Garden.
Okay.
During the height of Larry Bird.
Okay.
Now, Inglewood would be great at the Great Western Forum.
Wow.
That would have been amazing to see Showtime and all the celebs. Just walking by it,
I got
right.
the feels.
You know what I'm saying? It's that's the Great Western Forum.
It was really cool.
The Fabulous Forum.
Yeah, right next to
SoFi. Right there. But the Boston Garden is one place that I always wanted to go to. That's just in basketball. When it comes to football, it's Lambeau Field up there. I definitely want to go to Lambeau Field. I've always had this little weird thing with Joe Robbie Stadium down in Miami. Now it's Hard Rock, but I always loved Joe Robbie for some reason with Dan Marino and company.
Looks cool.
It looked cool, but now they've renovated it. But Lambeau Field will be at the top of the list when it comes to football. And I've knocked off Soldier Field, the new Soldier Field, which is great. When it comes to baseball, I always wanted to see a game at the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
The old Yankee Stadium. And you know what? A sleeper for me, before Camden Yards, what did they call it in Baltimore? I think it was Baltimore Stadium or whatnot, but the old Baltimore Stadium where they won World Series with Jim Palmer and company, Eddie Murray, then later on Cal Ripken Jr. in the early 80s. That's two stadiums I always wanted to go to in baseball.
I like that. I like that a lot. I still want to play catch on Fenway. I think one day I'm going to find a way to make that happen. I don't know how. I want to play catch at Fenway somehow, some way. I've been to Fenway. I thought it was one of the coolest. I mean, just one of the coolest experiences of all time.
It was great.
But if I could go back, I still want to see Ebbets. Like I in my mind, I can't even see like Polo Grounds. We have a lot of old footage and the old dimensions and everything, and they did do a really good job archiving it. I feel like I don't know enough about Ebbets Field because those that went to Ebbets always talked about how special it was.
Isn't Barclays built where Barclays Center built where Ebbets Field was? I think it may be, if I'm not mistaken. Out there in Brooklyn, but just to be in the middle of the street, just a neighborhood stadium. That's why Wrigley Field is so special. I'm watching Wrigley yesterday, and just the aura of Wrigley Field. Now they've got the scoreboards up, and balls aren't going out to Sheffield Avenue and Waveland Avenue like they used to. But Wrigley Field, you got that history, that aura. You're right about Fenway Park. I didn't get it so much at the new Yankee Stadium because the old Yankee Stadium used to be across the street. Hell, I wanted to go to even the Yankee Stadium that got renovated in the 70s. Like, you look at the one that was in 1951, Yankee Stadium, was a lot different than the Yankee Stadium that we saw in the mid-90s.
I mean, look at Candlestick and the evolution that had with the cyclone fence and it being completely open in the back. And then when they got it ready in the 70-71 offseason for football, they added turf. And like when you see Willie Mays, his 3,000th hit, go between short and third base and it's on turf, it just doesn't Doesn't look right.
So they have the Ebbets Field flagpole, the original one that was there, and it's outside to commemorate that obviously
It's
that
outside
Barclays
Center.
of Barclays
Yep.
Center.
Wow.
So
Didn't know that.
I don't know if it's built right on top of it or just in the area, but they do have the original flagpole there as a little monument, which is pretty cool.
It's interesting. I actually have thought about it. Like, let's say I was a team that had minimal identity, what would I do with my stadium? I would try to combine features from an old school stadium that is defunct and try to put something together.
Yep.
That's something that I've often thought about. If I was really trying to endear myself, especially in baseball, because the dimensions can be so unique. If I was just an expansion team, let's say they expand in Nashville, and I know they want to have their own spin on it, but why not go to Crosby and try to incorporate certain things? Like, that's one thing about Oracle Park. They tried to incorporate AT&T, Pac-Bell, whatever you want to call it, Old Steel Stadium.
Yep.
And
which is a stadium I wish we went to, and now it's the old shopping. Like, whenever I go there, not to cut you off, but I think of the Safeway, and I'm like, this was a baseball stadium.
It's a double play. The bar was literally where second base was.
Yep.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. So, like, that's something that I think that Oracle, part of why it hits the way it does is because they paid that homage to the old school stadiums. And so it's just something, that I always consistently think about. And when I look at like the A's they've been, all these old A's stadiums, and let's try to get a stadium. And, if they were smart, you'd want to have a new design or whatever, but maybe make those outfield wall dimensions unique, like one of those old school stadiums.
Yeah, Baltimore Memorial Stadium is what I'm thinking of, where the old Baltimore Colts used to play and the Orioles used to play until they moved to Camden Yards. Got a good one here from Oscar EP on the Xfinity Mobile text line. B, what about Wembley Stadium? So now that I feel like I'm well-rounded now, and I'm watching other sports in other countries, Wembley Stadium's up there. I want to go to Wimbledon. I want to go to Roland Garros for the French Open. I want to go to Liverpool and I want to go to Chelsea. I want to go to all these stadiums now that because you see the history with those stadiums now, and they're renovating them, but all those soccer stadiums are in the middle of neighborhoods. Like, you could be living and in your backyard, Liverpool's playing. One of the top teams in the Premier League, right? It's so cool. There was a team, Spadoni, you may know this, that got promoted to the Premier League. And their stadium was literally in the middle of the neighborhood, and you had to walk through like these little closed doors, like you're walking into somebody's house to get inside the stadium. It's seated like maybe 10,000 people. But they just got promoted. They didn't do too well, obviously. They're a little
Luton Town FC. That's
Luton Town
look it up. It's Kenilworth Road is the name of it. And
not
it's
Abbey Road.
No, it's literally like in a community. Like, you could just think of like a small town, and someone just built a soccer field there. That's what it is. You can go through someone's house to get to the game.
Yeah, you're going through somebody's backyard to go to the bleachers, and it's just like game today, Luton Town versus whatever.
Versus
and you're
Man
like walking
City.
in. It's like walking into a liquor store. You're walking into a liquor store, and then you walk through these stairs, and then all of a sudden, boom.
That's crazy.
And it's like the camera angles they have is almost like at Cameron Indoor, where it's like you feel like the camera angles are so different because the thing's just so small. It's crazy.
So like today, I did it last year and the year prior when they had the Field of Dreams game. I was all in on the whole pomp and circumstance. The second they have the pregame, I'm tapped in, and I want to see all they had Kevin Costner way back when. I remember he did some narration, and then he came out of the cornfield, and here come all the players, the old school Yankee uniforms, the old school White Sox uniforms. It just presented so well on television. I'm here for today.
Oh, today's going to be great.
I am
in
so
4K,
here for all of this.
And it's going to be in 4K. It's
going to be awesome.
You want to watch it down at Oracle Park. Gates open at 12 p.m. down at Oracle Park, where you can honor Willie Mays and watch the Rickwood Field game in honor of the Negro Leagues and Willie Mays today at Oracle Park. They're going to show the entire game on the scoreboard. You could sign a book to commemorate the great Willie Mays, drop some flowers off at the statue or whatnot. Somebody asked me about a hockey arena. It's off the top of my head. Mellon Arena, the Igloo in Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's just me. It's just, you know me. I'm well-rounded.
Joe Louis Arena in Detroit.
That is a good call.
Hockey Town, USA.
That is a good call.
No, I want the worst hockey experience as possible. I want where the Phoenix Coyote have been playing, which is like a 2,000 seat.
Oh, Arizona State. They're playing at Arizona State.
The tiniest stadium ever. No, I'm teasing there.
I'd be curious what the Cow Palace was like for Sharks games that first year they played there.
Did you ever go to a Bulls or Spiders game?
No, not there. I can't remember the last time I've either been to the Cow Palace, but no, I think the only time I've ever been to the Cow Palace was when they had the dog show there.
Dog show.
I don't know what that says about me, but
Yeah,
you were talking about
Barry
old
Bonds
stadium.
had a dog in a dog show in New York.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
That's right, he did. Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah, that is a true story.
Yeah, we look at Barry Bonds' Instagram because he's been active on Instagram.
He's got the dog, you know.
Dude, he no joke. Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds'
And then
Instagram's
Jerry
funny.
West brought out his wolf.
That's right. He did. The real wolf.
Real wolf. Dude,
That was best of show right there.
dude, Barry Bonds is
And
on the
here's
show.
Jon Snow with his, what is it? What was
Dire
the?
Wolf.
Dire Wolf. Yeah.
Dire Wolf, yeah.
There's this cool show on Netflix where it's this card collector. And he's looking for the greatest cards, and Barry Bonds was on that show. Out of nowhere, it's like Barry's getting active here. But what's the famous dog show in New York?
Westminster. Dog
Barry
show.
Bonds had a
The
dog.
worst week of the year.
Well, they always have it's always on Thanksgiving, right?
ESPN,
Something like that.
I'm
Or
like,
maybe
what
it's
are
a
we
different one.
doing? This isn't sports.
Yeah, Barry Bonds had his dog.
Tell
in
that
there.
to the dogs.
I don't think it placed or anything like that, but Barry Bonds, man, he was juiced about it. Juiced about that dog show. Yeah, Barry Bonds. You never know. John from San Jose, 408. Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, where I saw the Orioles beat the Dodgers in Game 2 of the 1966 World Series. Wow. 415. Grandmother was in a nursing home right behind Wembley Stadium for over 20 years. And every match final played at Wembley, it had extra many because she could hear every match. That is awesome. That is awesome.
If we're talking old stadiums that you'd like to go to that you can't go to anymore, for me, top of that list is probably the old Orange Bowl. R.I.P. OB down in Miami.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about what it was
and
like there.
Michael Irvin.
When I was in Miami, it was pre-renovations of Sun Life Stadium, now Hard Rock Stadium. Like Sun Life, it was a dump. It was honestly worse than the Coliseum is right now. It was pretty bad. But I was never really there in Miami to see like good times, to see like how excited that crowd could be. But I hear those stories about what the old OB was like, and oh man, I really wish I could have been there.
Watching that game, watching that stadium, whether it was the old Orange Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl that you played on New Year's Day or whatnot, or Miami, Florida State. And in one of the end zones, I think it wasn't.
They had to bring in the extra bleachers.
They had to bring in the extra bleachers. At times, they didn't have the bleachers. I think White Right won. There was no bleachers back there. I think it was just like the old little setup with the palm trees and a little tent. And it was just the aesthetic and the big scoreboard. The scoreboard right there at the old OB. When I went to Marlins Park, a lot of people were talking about it there because it was on the grounds of the Orange Bowl.
Well, yeah, they have a really cool mural out, I believe, beyond left field, beyond the Clevelander there, that pays tribute to the Orange Bowl and everything. And it's a really cool mural. Yeah. It's just unfortunate that, they did have to get rid of it for Marlins Park and the ugly story that was behind that. But yeah, for a time, that old Orange Bowl, it was a true landmark in the city of Miami that, the city had to itself, and would have loved to be able to see just so many iconic moments that happened there. Just going back to that the 83 title game, the battles against Oklahoma, it's just so many great moments. All the times they beat Nebraska, just great times there.
When's your next pilgrimage to Miami?
That is a very good question. I will let you know as soon as I have an answer.
I have to find out when Meg the Stallion's playing.
Miami?
What is it? It's not called Crypto.com anymore. What's the new Miami arena called?
It was FTX Arena.
and that's what it was.
No.
Is it Kia?
Well, it lost the FTX sponsorship.
Well, they were trying to get Bang Bros to do it for a second, so let's see what they got.
No, don't talk about that. It was called the American Airlines Arena. I remember when I was there. I still refer to as that.
It was, though.
My boy Russell Gatewood. What up, Russ? Hope you're doing well out there. Football, Lambeau. Also, the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, where the Indians and the Browns shared the stadium. You had the mistake on the lake against the Raiders back in 1980. Kezar Stadium. Nobody said Kezar out here.
Well, I've seen high school games at Kezar.
Yeah, but you haven't seen 49.
Looks totally different
yeah, it looks
now
totally
than what
different
it
than
used
the
to
Niners. I played at Kezar. It's a great stadium.
I think
baseball.
Kezar's basketball stadium's getting renovated over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
What?
I can't wait for that.
Look, there's
hopefully they'll take the springs out.
Why?
No, I'm saying hopefully they don't take the springs out. Because, you get those extra hops.
There's certain dead spots on that floor.
Yeah, no doubt.
But there's something about an old, musty, moldy gym that is dank. I don't know. There's just something cool about it.
Basketball, the Spectrum in Philadelphia is one stadium he would like to go to for basketball. Obviously, if it comes to basketball, Boston Garden. I've yet to watch a game at Madison Square Garden, a real regulation game. The All-Star game I was there for at Madison Square Garden. That was pretty cool to hear their organs, but I want to see a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden.